evening, Didi.
Good evening, Rupal.
And thank you so much for sparing your time. And needless to say that you handle many portfolios of the Art of Living Foundation. You are president, Sri Sri University, and also the president of World Forum for Ethics in Business. You are a great global leader and a leadership coach. And needless to say that you are tireless in your endeavors to bring about social transformation. So thank you once again for joining us online.
Thank you. And it's so lovely to be with all of you to have this conversation and looking forward to this next hour and interacting with everybody.
So today's topic is leading in the time of chaos. So the first question that I have for you is, most of us tend to see chaos as detrimental, but many take chaos as a challenge. Which of the above mindset is more effective in dealing with today's ever-changing scenario?
Yeah, as we are all experiencing, we are all now on this call from many parts of the world. And what we are going through today, unfortunately, because of the coronavirus pandemic, is akin to what we can call chaos. And none of us, could have predicted it. None of us could have anticipated it. But it has become a living reality of our life today. So I would say that the world today is more and more becoming, I think in the world today, more and more, we need to have a mindset of chaos being the new normal. Because, if it is not this, it can be something else. Because, as the world today, I think all of us will agree, we are so interconnected, we are so interdependent. Information passes so fast. We know what is happening in all parts of the world within, in a blink of an eye. So we are no longer insulated from what is happening in one part of the world. One part of the world is not insulated from what is happening in the other parts of the world. So I think because of that, uncertainty or turbulence or chaos, whatever you call it, is, I think, the new normal, which is why we call the world today a VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So therefore, all of us who are in the leadership roles or in leadership positions, I think it will serve us well to always anticipate some curved ball, as we say, in India we play cricket, and that googly which comes, which we don't know how to hit, or don't know how to strike. So I think that is the new normal. And to have a mindset like this, I think is already the first step in how we can address it or how we can deal with it.
Thank you. And it is said that the only certainty is uncertainty. So how to really appreciate this fact and how in a team we can handle the uncertainties by making the most out of it and uplift each other as well as the team spirit without getting stressed?
Yeah, I think, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a great follow-up question, Rupal. And I think that is what most of us who are on this call today might already be experiencing in what we are doing with our teams or in our workplaces or even in our communities. Today, our community has become a team because, look at what is happening. I am joining this call from Mumbai. Mumbai is in almost partial lockdown. Many cities of India are, experiencing that around the world. So our community has become a team. So to my mind, there are 5 or 6 big steps. Some of my friends are used to my 5 P's or 4 P's, so I'm not going to disappoint. And I'm going to talk about 5 C's, which, to be honest, I am experiencing right now. As Sri Sri University, also we got a sudden, we got a government diktat. To shut down the campus. So a lot of things have happened because of that. So I want to talk about few things that have worked, which I feel have not naturally happened. And I think they seem to be working. So number 1, the first C I would say is keeping ourselves cool and calm. I think that's the first C, how we can keep our own state of mind, our own disposition, our own attitude, our own approach calm and cool. Because if we are harried and we are upset and we are anxious, then that is kind of going to permeate and cascade to the rest of the team. So I think being in a leadership position, it's our primary responsibility to stay calm and cool, because the level of coolness we exhibit or the level of calmness we exhibit can inspire a lot of confidence in our team. So I think number one is to stay calm and cool. For me personally, I have a practice of meditation, doing breathing techniques that has helped me immensely. I must say I have increased that a little bit. I used to do it twice a day regularly. Now many times I find the moment to do it thrice a day, meditation that is helping me. So first is to stay calm and cool. The second is to collaborate. Today, anyways, in workplaces, nothing can be achieved without collaboration, more so in times of crisis or turbulence or chaos, because you don't know what skill can come from which person, what knowledge which person has. So if we have a spirit of flat, a flat organizational spirit where everybody feels the ability to participate and to collaborate and give suggestions, give inputs, share thoughts, raise anxieties, I think that is very, very helpful, because, it is the power of synergizing, where 2 plus 2 becomes 5. So I think first is keep calm and cool. Second is to collaborate. Third, I think, is to communicate. In fact, I would say over communicate. We are seeing that also in, many of the leaders around the world. There are regular updates. Governments are setting up dashboards for common people to get access to information. So communication and over communication cannot be, I think I cannot overemphasize that, because sometimes we assume that people know things, but I think in times of crisis, the more we can communicate, I think the more, the better it is. So that would be my fourth. My third. My fourth would be, I think this is the time as us as leaders to definitely exhibit our bone of compassion. I think these are times of turbulent feelings. There are fears, anxieties. People are dealing with lack of information, misinformation. So I think as leaders, we need to be compassionate. There might be flaring tempers, there might be breakdowns. So that respect for that aspect of happening in our team's life is very important. So being calm and cool, secondly collaborating, thirdly communicating, over communicating, fourthly having that spirit of compassion. And really, I think it is the time for people in leadership positions to almost take parental roles of being, the elders of the team in that space. So showing and exhibiting compassion. And fifthly, I would say, is staying committed, this aspect of commitment, because, for example, the current crisis we are dealing with, we don't know whether it is going to last us 2 weeks or 2 months, or unfortunate, some reports are saying it might last us even longer. So, flash of the pan behavior will not work. We have that onus on us of staying committed, staying the course, to take our team along. So when I was thinking of this question, I was reflecting on what we are doing in our university. And these are also some of the behaviors I'm seeing some of my colleagues in senior leadership positions in the team exhibiting. So I would say this, and I would add two more C's, if you permit me. The next C is, still out of all this, do something creative. Sometimes gloom and doom in the environment can bog us down. So we have to take that, we have to rise above that, cut through that, and do something creative. Like we have started in the university doing online sessions. Now, this was never done before. It was not planned, but we just discussed it. Everybody loved the idea. Everybody's come together. It has invigorated the spirit in everybody, because we are doing something new, doing something creative. So that definitely, in our own way, in our own teams, that will help. And the last is celebrating small milestones. There are, when you are in crisis, the end seems very far, it seems tough to reach. But when we celebrate milestones along the way, small or large, I think they will definitely uplift the spirit. So I would say these 7 C's are something I'm recognizing we are exhibiting, or it's happening in our team.
Thank you
Sorry,
so
that
much.
was a little long, but sorry about that.
That was really insightful. I would like to actually repeat these 7 C's that you spoke about. So stay cool and calm, collaboration, over communication, then spirit of compassion, commitment, being creative, and celebrating small milestones.
Yes.
So I really would like to appreciate that because of you, we started off this online sessions, and today we completed 4 online sessions, and this is the 5th one that we are doing with you. And thank you so much for initiating that.
No, we did 5 already, Rupal. This is the 6th today. Yes.
Oh, just on one then.
Yes. So this is for everybody's information, because many friends are joining from around the world. All our faculty has very graciously agreed to do sessions which are free, open sessions on very interesting topics for everybody. So today we had a session on some knowledge of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Then we had a session on data mining. Then we had a session on ergonomics at the workplace. And we had a session on Sanskrit. We have some architecture oriented sessions, green environment. So watch out for the Shrishi University social media handles and take the benefit, because this is also the time, many of us are in lockdown. We use the time to upskill ourselves, and I would say share our skills also. So I would invite everyone to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yes. So, Didi, you are handling many important portfolios with the Art of Living Foundation, and you work very, very closely with Gurudev, Sri Sri Ravi Shankarji, who I would say is a trailblazer. I am sure you've had many, many experiences with him. Could you please share one of your experiences where you've seen him handle the chaos, and what were your learnings as a leader?
Actually, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankarji, some of us who may have joined to introduce, is a global humanitarian, and today one of the most respected spiritual leaders and humanitarians of the whole world, leading the Art of Living Foundation and many other such foundations. And he's the lifetime president of Shrishi University. So, again, as I said, when you're doing social transformation work, there are many challenges, there are many obstacles, there are many oppositions. Throughout, I have been through many, many experiences like that with where I have been involved. Few things strike me. Number one is, it's coming to C's again, Rupal. But number one for me is his unbelievable courage. If I look back the 27 years of my association, I can't remember a single incident where something was, out of the ordinary. There was a crisis, or there was a, happen, and he never has a weak-hearted sort of response. He's so courageous that just his courage, his sense of confidence makes the rest of us in the team feel extremely, optimistic about how we can handle it. So I think he's very, very courageous. Secondly, he has implicit faith in his team. I always say that sometimes he has more trust in his team than the individuals themselves might have. And this implicit faith that he has, I think, kind of, helps us rise to our levels of, more than the level of our potential. So I would say this faith in the team. And I think Gurudev is one person who has an amazing context of the largeness and the vastness of our existence, or the eternality of our existence. So somehow nothing appears too big to him. And when the problem is treated as something which we can manage, then it becomes easier to manage. If we get overwhelmed by it, it can derail you. So I would say these are the three things that come to my mind: his unbelievable courage, his implicit faith in the team, and his large context of life, which we normal conversationally we say this shall also pass. I think he lives it in the way he conducts his work. So these are the three things that always that I have taken from him, or I'm still learning. Rupal, I cannot hear you. You are muted. Rupal, you have to unmute.
Yeah. So, Didi, generally what happens is in the last minute things, it's like always an invitation to chaos. That is how the mind perceives. So, like you said just now, the larger context, how do we train our mind to see that larger context even while in chaos?
I think all of us have our own ways. For me, my spiritual practices has helped me. I think over a period when we meditate, it also cultures our consciousness in a way that sometimes we are able to, our intuitive abilities then also kind of start honing, sharpening. Like I'll give you this example. On Friday morning, I woke up and I felt that I should call all our members of our leadership team together and discuss what we should do in case we are asked to shut down the campus. Now, there was no news like that. Odisha was not at all on the scene anywhere for the corona to spread, and even in general in India, it was not as bad a situation like it is today, just 3 days later. But that morning we got together and we had our first conversation about what should we do, how we can do it. And lo and behold, that afternoon at 3 o'clock we got a directive from the government that we will indeed have to vacate and we will indeed have to suspend classes. Now, for me, if you ask me how I got that, there is no answer to it. It was a thought that came, and it was something that was worth following. So I think more and more as leaders, we need to not just react to situations, but we need to be able to proactively preempt situations, because the one who can preempt is the one who can stay ahead, is what I feel, because that gives you the edge of time. It gives you the edge of preparation. So I think we need to find that way where either by knowledge, like I'll give you another example. Someone who I know very closely has very deep insight into the global economy. Now my husband, okay, let me just my husband, so he has so much knowledge of past trends that he is able to predict future happenings on the basis of past trends. When a black swan event happens, what do the past trends show? So then that is an example of how building your knowledge is able to help you preempt. So we have to find our way to do it. And I think sometimes we are plain lucky that we are able to do that, but I think it is more our responsibility, because one is a crisis situation. Secondly, just being in business, just conducting ourselves today, there is so much innovation and disruption in the world that you might be doing everything perfectly well in your business, but if somebody comes and disrupts your industry, then no matter you might have been the best in your industry, it's not going to be good enough. So I think that is where we as leaders have that responsibility, and we have to keep sort of one step ahead of the curve, I feel. Rupal, again you are yeah.
So many times life don't give us choices, but what would you prefer, working in an orderly situation or a chaotic situation?
Actually, I can't remember the last time I worked in an orderly situation. Because actually, I think disequilibrium is the equilibrium. As normally we say, like the heart line, like as long as it goes like this on the monitor, we are alive. The minute it becomes flat, we are, that's it. So I think disequilibrium is the new equilibrium. And I think as all of us in leadership positions I think we should have that mindset that it's fine. I used to have a boss once when I was working in Citibank who used to say that I come to work every day expecting these 80 things to go wrong, like 25 customers yelling at me, or 10 regulatory queries, or whatever, 80 things going wrong. And if I go home with less than 80 going wrong, then it's been a great day. So I think that's a great attitude to have. It kind of, makes you cool and calm that, okay, it was a good day. I had only 70 problems today. So I think that is necessary today. We don't have a choice.
Thank you. I think many of them are waiting to ask you questions directly.
Okay.
Shall we open the forum for them to ask?
Yes, sure. How will you do it? Like people can raise hands and you ask, or? We lost you. You are mute again. Rupal, you're mute again.
Yeah, so anybody who would like to ask question could raise your hand and we will open it. Anybody who would like to ask question? How do I do this? Dr. Shilpi, would you like to ask? Yeah, you can unmute your audio. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
Jai Gurudev, ma'am.
Hello, Shilpi. Jai Gurudev.
Yeah, I always learn from you, ma'am. Your acts, your sayings, everything is always an example set for me. How should I grow? So, like in today's world, what everything is uncertain. The next moment is very much uncertain. So, being a leader, what are the basic things which does not change in your mind? Whatever will happen, these things are not going to change. This is the way we'll have to maintain this thing, at least this.
So what's the question? What inside us should not change?
Yeah. What inside us should not change?
Okay, good question. So let me think. I think first is our confidence. These are the times when definitely our confidence can get shaken, because you plan certain things. Like now today, look at the state of the world. Retail industry is affected, airline industry is affected. Name the industry, practically every industry is affected. And it is not going to be the same. How the results come out, our bottom line, everything is not going to be the same. And that can put incredible pressure on on you, because you have responsibility to people, jobs. So I think first is to have confidence that you can pull through it. Second, I would say, is to also have that spirit of courage. Times of crisis are like war. Now in war, you cannot be you cannot be afraid, or you cannot be hesitant. I think this has to be dealt like today, like what we are seeing in the world. This crisis is being dealt with wherever it is being dealt with on a war-like footing. We are seeing how the results are different. So I think courage is the third. And I would say, for me personally, what works is faith in the larger intelligence, or divine, or God, or whatever it is, our way of reference, that good will happen. In the end, things will work out. I think without that faith, you can't move ahead. It's very difficult. So for me, I would say these three things, I think, are important. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shilpi. Was a great session, by the way, your afternoon session on Sanskrit. I saw for 10 minutes. It was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's that the same thing, the courage, because just the day before I came to know this going to happen, and it was a chance which I thought I should take.
Very nice. Very
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Dr. Anil Garg, would you like to ask a question? You can unmute your audio.
Yeah.
Oh, Jai Gurudev, Anilji.
So nice of you. I didn't know that you have already taken 5 sessions.
No, different people from the team took it.
Oh,
On
okay.
different subjects. But what can you ask me? I should ask you the question.
Yeah, but it was a fantastic session. Really, really very inspiring. And all 7 C's which you said now, it's really touching, Rajita. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For sharing your valuable thoughts.
Thank you. You should share something, Anilji. You have so much experience.
See, I can tell you one thing only, that we are all under, Gurudev's grace. So we need not to worry, but we should be, having some precaution measure we should take. We cannot take everything so lightly.
Right.
And as Gurudev said, these are the time to, do some self-introspection, do some meditation, skill development, reading, knowledge gaining. So that's why I'm doing. I'm watching your online session.
Yes,
So,
that's true.
Gurudev is with us, so there is nothing to worry for all of us, for anybody. And in fact, I'm praying every day whenever I'm doing meditation or anything. I'm praying for the whole world.
Yes.
This corona should go away from the whole.
Absolutely.
Single prayer I'm doing every day, morning, afternoon, and evening.
Actually, and you are right. I want to add here a thing, Rupal. It is unfortunate, but it is true that sometimes more than joyful events, unfortunate or sad events unite us. And this is one such example. Today, what we are seeing are exceptional acts of camaraderie, exceptional acts of, friendship. People are stretching their hands, governments are stretching their hands. So we should also use crisis opportunities to recognize that ultimately what is the purpose of our life. I read an article somewhere that sometimes crisis comes in our life to make us recognize that everything that we are running after is after all not that which is so important. The basics of good health, a caring family or set of friends, or caring people around us who wish well for us. Some of these things have become so apparent globally now. So I think we look at it from this point of view. One little virus is teaching us so many lessons of life.
Right. Agreed, fully agreed. Some silver lining is also there, that
Silver lining is
cool down, calm down, relax.
correct.
Otherwise, we are always in, bhag and bhag.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anil. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anil. Thank you. So we have Rupa who would like to ask a question. Rupa, you could unmute your audio. Yeah.
Jai Gurudev, Rajita ji.
Oh, Rupa ji, Jai Gurudev. This is one more person I can ask question. Yes, Rupa ji. So nice to have you.
Yeah, same here. Lovely listening to you. You've been an absolutely inspiring leader. And as Gurudev says, those people who are more receptive to his learning and teaching are, close to him. And that's what you have exhibited.
Yeah.
Brilliantly.
That right back at you, Rupa ji.
I think you talked about collaboration and as one of your C's.
Yes.
Do you see the role of diversity in leadership in leading in a chaos, and how does diversity in leadership help in leading in a chaos? Gender diversity or otherwise?
That's a very fabulous insight, Rupa ji, that you have actually tabled right now. I was not thinking on those lines, and you have now, I think, you have ignited that thought. I think it is very, very valuable. And I want to speak from my own experience. I think gender diversity for sure is, I think it is the paramount these days, because I think as men and women, we naturally are built differently, and therefore we naturally think differently. And in times of crisis, we need all these types of thinkings and all these approaches, some little aggressive, some little cautious, all types, and more. And along with that, Rupaji, I think that as we are becoming again flatter in the world, cultural diversity, or even knowledge diversity, or experience diversity is very, very crucial. Like, one member of our team has been a captain in the Navy, and his approach to every crisis is a different level of calm and cool than we have. So he makes anything look so like easy to do, easy to deal with, that itself makes us so much, more confident of achieving something, or getting past a crisis. So I think experience diversity, and education diversity, knowledge diversity, age diversity. I think multi-generational workplaces today are the norm. And from millennials to baby boomers, I think, like in our university, Rupaji, we have like some 6 generations, which are, from students to the senior most professors, are like 6 generations. And each generation brings its own unique perspective, and that becomes also very, very crucial and valuable. So you're very right. This is very, very relevant and very true in the world today. And thanks for igniting this thought. I had not put attention to this before.
Yeah. Thank you. And
what do you feel, Rupaji?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you, because especially in times of chaos, and as you said, chaos is now, disequilibrium is the new equilibrium. And these times, the diversity plays a great role, and whether it is generational or experience, or just, ethnicity, everything counts, gender, of course. And it's fantastic. And I think this creative way of using time when we are all locked up is fantastic. Real.
Yes.
It's fantastic initiative.
That's what we thought, that we create platforms to share our insights, to talk about things with each other. We are, our faculty is teaching these open sessions, and so many of you are on this platform today. I can see there are about 64 logins, with some places multiple people joining in. So all of you, if you have a skill to share, and it need not be 1 hour. If you want 15 minutes, 20 minutes, short bursts, feel free to reach out. We can give you the platform to, to share from the Shishu University platform. We'll be very happy to have you.
Wonderful.
You may want to do a session on how more women can come on corporate boards.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very passionate about that cause.
Yes, you're so passionate about it, and you have so much expertise in it personally. Rupal, we can, I will connect you, and we can host a session for Rupaji on these lines.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rupaji.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Richa would like to ask a question to you. Richa, you could unmute your audio.
Yeah, hi. Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Hello, Richa. Good evening.
So far, it's going really nice and interesting. And I would like to ask one question is, ma'am, group of people, we make a lot of plans, and but somehow during the execution, it gets diluted. Like, people get away from the goal very easily. So how do we deal with this? Because I've seen some energy goes on follow-up. It's consumed more on the follow-up rather than we can use our energy innovation or something like that. So how do we deal with this situation?
Yeah, you have in Hindi we say dukti rag pe haath rakh liya. So you have really placed your finger on a very weak nerve for me also on this matter. I agree with you. I am of the belief that execution is God. No plan is of any use. I mean, even the best plan is of no use if it cannot be executed. So you are absolutely right. And in the world of today, chaos, no chaos, crisis, no crisis, unless we can execute, we will not, I mean, what is the point then of sitting and planning? So yes, it is key. Some people do it naturally, very excellently. Some others need to be followed up. So, as people in leadership positions, it is also something, a key thing that we just have to live with and do, because that's how it is. So I wish I also knew why some don't, but I think it is it is an inner bone of excellence, as I call it. If excellence is in our DNA, then we will do only that which is the best. And that is why I feel, it is said that yoga karmasu kaushalam, that yoga brings skill in action, it brings that excellence in action. And I have seen that with the practice of yoga, meditation, pranayam, some of the techniques, I mean, if I look back at my own personal my own life, I can see I have myself come a far way. So I feel that, as people in leadership positions, we have to guide our teams and our colleagues in the direction where excellence starts becoming their way and not just something because they have to do it. You can't but not be the best like that. I think that is what I feel.
Yeah, wonderful thought. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Richa.
Thank you, Richa. We have Kaustubh Das, faculty with the Architecture Department. Sir, would you like to ask a question? Kaustubh, sir? Yeah, Kaustubh, sir. Okay, I think he is unable to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ranjay Kumar would like to ask a question. He wanted to ask a question. Ranjay, are you there? Sorry, we've lost him also.
Yeah.
Anybody else who would like to ask a question?
Or share a thought?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, this is Bharat. Rajita ji, can you hear me?
Yes, Bharat. Jai Gurudev, hello.
Yeah, Rajita ji, one question that I had is, I mean, we saw there was another kind of chaotic situation like a demonetization which happened a few years ago, which
Yes.
led to kind of lot of fintech companies kind of seeing a huge opportunity. So in this current crisis, and given that you're president of Sri Sri University, do you see any big changes happening in the way learning and education happens? Like, are we going to see more mainstreaming of kind of remote learning, distance learning? What's your view on this?
Yes, Bharat, you are absolutely right. Every crisis gives sees an emergence of either new ways of living or new industries themselves mushrooming, or new ways of conducting business. So already the education and higher and primary education both are so severely getting disrupted around the world. We already have a robot teacher in Bangalore, not far away, and which is your town. And now through this, we are seeing, even in our SSRVM schools, our teachers are even teaching little children, primary children, by Skype. So I think this might escalate, accelerate this whole process. And you're absolutely right. Already for Industry 4.0 needs, there is a lot of need for blended learning. Already there is a lot of need, and this will show us that even more online, even more remote, even more flexible learning is much easier than we thought. It is pushing us in that direction. So definitely, I think this is possible. This is possible. And, today, for example, we have the MOOCs platform, massive online course platform. Already knowledge is becoming commoditized. It is freely accessible. And I think it will become even more. So educators will have to become even more niche, even more specialized in what we can offer students. What do you think, Bharat?
Yes, Rajita, I also feel that perhaps this, now that people will become more familiar with the tools, I guess the acceptance of remote technologies and technologies like Zoom will, and as they get a taste of it, I guess the acceptance will increase, allowing for more usage. That's
sometimes we stay in status quo because nothing pushes us out of it. But events like this push you out of status quo. And when you get pushed out of status quo, then you have no choice but to experiment, fall, fail, and then pick up, and then become again okay with the new normal. So, isn't it, Bharat?
Yes, Rajita, and in fact, this session is so unique, and perhaps it would have been difficult to have such a session with participation, diverse participation. So even this very session, I find it very innovative and creative, which perhaps couldn't have happened offline. So it's really creating new opportunities.
Absolutely. And I want to share with everybody, Bharat is a very fabulous leadership trainer from Bangalore. He has close to 2.5 decades of industry experience and leadership training experience. And I ask you to check out his, Bharat, what do you call it? Learning with Iyer. What do you call it?
Learningwithiyer.com. Yeah.
Learningwithiyer.com. He posts this very sweet handwritten yellow slips on some amazing topics every other day, and very valuable tips, small little nuggets of information and insights and knowledge. You must definitely follow him on his social media handles. I really enjoy them.
We could have a session 2 online then.
Yes, Bharat, we should have your session as well.
I'm still learning, Rajita.
Whatever you have learned, you can share. We are all learning.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajita ji, for that insight.
Yes, Bharat. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Bharat. We have Ronak who wanted to ask a question. Ronak, could you ask your question?
Yes, sure, ma'am.
Yes,
hello.
Bharat?
Hello, ma'am. Good evening. Could you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So my question is that today a leader has to take many decisions. He has to consider many factors while he takes any decision.
Yes.
It might be wrong, it might be right. So he has to sometimes take wrong decisions also for good, and sometimes right decisions also for some good. So on one hand, the decision might be wrong and bad, and on the other hand, it might be good. So how to deal with such a dilemma where you have two choices of wrong and right decisions?
Yeah. So Ronak, in my life, what I can say is that normally dilemma doesn't happen when it is right or wrong. I think there it is fairly clear what is right, what is wrong. The dilemma happens when they are two right or two not so, I won't say right or wrong, but two very favorable or two not very favorable situations. So when the difference in them is, the margin is less, is when the dilemma happens. And I think, that is one of the responsibilities of being in a leadership position, to exercise judgment, to be transparent, to be objective, and to do your best. I have always heard Gurudev say, purity of intention, sincerity in action, and clarity in the mind. So clarity in mind, purity of heart, and sincerity of intention. For me, this is a very big, like I can say, sutra or mantra for my life. As long as my intention is pure, sometimes expression may be not perfect, but that is fine. No, I mean, it's impossible that every decision you take in your life will be right. But for me, my primary focus is my intention is my intention right, and then I live with whatever that decision turns out. I would. That's my approach.
Thank you, Rana.
Thank you. Yeah.
We have Chelsea. Chelsea is one of our students. She's a BBA student here, and she sent in a question. She's saying that it is said that jack of all trades and master of none. But looking at you, you handle so many things parallelly and so effectively. How can you throw some insights on what this jack of all trades and master of none? How do I achieve that? Is what she's asking.
She wants to be master of all or master of none?
Master of all.
Master of all. No, I mean, there are people who do so much in life. I think what our focus should be is whatever is on our plate, how well we do it. Because, I think if you compare, like if I compare to someone else, they might be doing more than what I do. There are so many people, like on this call, there are so many people. If you look at people like Rupa ji, there is Anil ji. I mean, they are all very, I can't see everybody on the line. So pardon me if I'm not taking more names, but so many people are doing so many things in life. And, everyone has their own unique sort of way to do it. So I think my advice, Chelsea, if I can use the word, because I think I'm a few years older than you, I would say you find out what you want to do. You first focus on what you want to achieve. What is your goal in life? What inspires you? What do you feel good about? What is your passion? You identify that and then you master that. Today she's right in saying people are today scattered. And then in that, you achieve nothing of nothing, and then you say, I'm sad or not feeling good or whatever. I think we have to spend time in mastery. Popularly it is known that you need 10,000 hours of purposeful practice to master anything. Like Roger Federer didn't become Roger Federer overnight. I mean, he focused and he worked very, very, very hard. He dealt with a lot of failures. He bounced back. So we should look at some such towering examples around us and integrate those qualities in our life, not aspire for their life, because their life is their life, but integrate those qualities that we can see they are exhibiting. I would say that. And, I would say a little more subtler is in the spirit. If you're in the spiritual path, there is a different force sometimes that is pushing you. So again, if you have a clear intention, and I have learned one thing, if you have a yes mind, if you say yes, I can do it, somehow something, some force, some blessing, some power supports you, pushes you ahead, because then what you are doing is not for your own individual good, but for a bigger, larger good. So this has been my experience, and there is no substitute for hard work. If anybody tells you, what, doesn't matter, you can do a little bit of this and that and do smart work. Yeah, I understand. I don't want to get caught in the semantics. But the attitude to work hard has to be there, that I'm willing to put every effort that is necessary. Because without that, you can't achieve. I don't think there are so many experts on this call. We can ask all of them. Hard work is the fundament. So that is what I would say.
Thank you. We have a connection from Netherlands. Would you like to ask a question?
Not right now. It's just that I want to remark that sometimes you have to ask the question that when chaos arises, do you have to struggle to keep up some form of stability? Or that in some cases you must simply say, well, what was is no longer valid or good, and should you just well, let it fall apart and look after something which can replace it. That's something which puzzles me right now.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. In our, I want to share in our Indian context, in some of our ancient texts, it is said that the full form of God is a generator, operator, and destroyer. So you can call it destroying or disrupting. And I think disruption is, again, the new norm of the world today. So sometimes, I mean, unless something gets disrupted, something new may not sprout. So you're absolutely right. Sometimes we have to let go of things that are, like an old building, right? I mean, if a building has a certain life, so if the building has lived its life, which was say 70 years or 50 years because of the way it was built, then you don't, there is only so much you can correct it. It might be more intelligent to bring it down and build a new one. So I think,
Yes.
Isn't it? What do you think?
Well, in some cases it is, but I often see a reaction when something goes down. I work in IT, and sometimes systems break down or are not well built or badly designed. And you see a tendency to say, well, we go on and on and on with the same system. Well, I am at times wondering, well, wouldn't it be best to, well, stop it and to learn from the experience and to build something from scratch to replace it?
Yeah.
And it's, I noticed that a lot of people are not very willing to take the effort to replace something. They think, oh, it takes too much time, too much money, too much manpower. But I'm wondering, well, if you keep on struggling with what you have, it won't get any better in the long run. It will simply cost you more than it will save you. So that's
yeah,
difficult.
it's a tough one. It's a tough one. There is no black and white answer. It's a tough one, and I think all of us struggle with such dilemmas many times in our leadership roles.
Yes.
Sometimes we are constrained by resources, like you rightly said. It might cost too much money, too much manpower. So yes, you're right. These are the real life dilemmas we deal with. Yeah.
Yes. And right now we also have in the Netherlands quite a lot of disruption due to Corona.
Right.
And well, I'm not quite sure where it's going right now. We already have a few weeks of, well, I have to work at home. I'm not allowed to go to the office. Well, a few systems have broken down, so we have to repair stuff. And well, it's a bit difficult.
Yes, you're right.
It's confusing, and actually that confusion is well, not very easy for me and for many people around here.
Yeah. Which is why that topic of discussion didn't come up yet. But I think for all of us, this is a way of life we have not been prepared for. That we work out of home for extended periods of time. Where everybody does that. So there is also, apart from the medical isolation that we need to do, it is also creating social isolation.
Yes.
We should not forget that, there are some happiness hormones like serotonin and oxytocin, which get generated by human contact. Yes. And somewhere we are depriving our system of that. And which is why I think it's great that we can all talk to each other, at least because of technology. And which is why we are, we have now sent almost 1,000 students home from our camp, and we are encouraging them to do practices like yoga, meditation, because that keeps, our spirit elevated and our spirit uplifted. So I must share with you what I did today. So, this is a little overwhelming, this whole situation. And I was speaking to a few of my elder aunts, and they were like so sad because some of them have family in Europe, some in the US, they don't know how they are doing. So I got all of them on my phone, nothing very dramatic, just we called each other like a chain. and we all sang.
Oh,
We sang for about 15 minutes, some old song.
okay.
And
Yes.
I said, nobody will talk about anything now. We will only sing because we were depressing each other. I said, now no more talking. Only singing. And it was fun. It was nice.
Okay. Ah, okay. Yes.
I think we just have to find a way to deal with it in our own unique way.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
Nice to meet you. Which part of Netherlands are you?
I'm from the south. I live in Tilburg.
Oh, you're in Tilburg. Okay, okay.
Yes, and I know quite a lot of people of Art of Living who live in Eindhoven.
Yes,
and quite a lot of Indian expats over there. So that's how I know Art of Living.
A program in Eindhoven once in the electronic in Philips.
Philips, yes, okay.
Philips, yes. Yes. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being with us today. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. So that singing bit, I would say that was the creative C that you spoke about.
Yes. Yeah.
Indeed, very creative. Yeah. I would have thought of something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they were talking, it was becoming too much, you know, this is not okay, that is not, oh God, now, let us sing a little bit, yeah.
So one last question, if anybody would like to ask.
How about we can, how about we put all the screens on?
Yeah, this Aga who wants to ask a question.
Yes, Aga, where are you from,
yes.
Aga?
Hello, Rajita ji. Hello, ma'am. I am from Poland.
Hi, Poland.
Yes. I am from Poland, and I have a similar question, like job, and at the same time different, because I am Art of Living teacher, and we organize now, of course, online session for our people in Poland. And it is challenge for us, of course. For me also, but I have another question, because I am a psychologist and I work at the medical university, and now my colleague, medical staff, ask me about support and about help. They are not after, they didn't happiness course yet. They know me that I am, they call me Zen, but they ask me about support, and sometimes for me it's difficult, because I meditate, my people, our people from Poland in Art of Living meditate, but another people not, and sometimes I don't know what can I tell them to cool down, because the level of stress medical staff is very high now.
That's right. That's right.
And I really tonight I all the time I thought, what can I tell them? I am a teacher. I'm a teacher. I'm a leader.
Very I'm not
a my Gmail baby. See Microsoft.
Muted. Yeah. So I cannot give you any psychology or medical advice, but for sure, if it is permissible, in your hospital, you can ask permission and have maybe just short Vastrika, Panchakosha sessions. And if you're not able to meet, then like this on Zoom, we can do. And if even that is not possible, I think our meditation, and then we pray and have a good vibes. That is what we can do. Oh, it's nice to see Nina. I can see my friend Nina, the main coordinator of our Mulund school. Our students' exam started today, 10th standard, and she made all the students meditate before they wrote the exam. Right, Nina?
Yeah, today they did their 5th paper. Today was the 5th paper, and they've been meditating every day.
Wow.
For writing the paper.
It's a unique example for us, that a school where our students meditate before writing exams. This is so amazing. Nina, thank you for joining me. And so many, Veena is joining from where? I can see Veena. And then who is this which says 1+6? The phone name shows not your name. Yeah, I can't see your name. And I can see Aarti, Lata, Niyati. Oh, lovely, Gurdeep. I saw Harsha, Varyani. So nice. Put on your videos, no?
Yeah.
Hey, beautiful people, put on your videos.
Oh.
Oh, Lata is there. Okay, Niyati, nice to see you. Rohini. So nice, all of you join. Would you like to say something? This was meant like a conversation, Rupal, but I've been talking myself too much.
Hi, Purnima. Can
Who's
I
that?
speak?
Yes, Purnima. Purnima is also joining from Netherlands.
I'm so happy to be
Hi.
here,
Nice to have
interacting
you.
with you. And it was such a nice session, a very inspiring session. I just want to ask a very simple question to you, and that is, as a leader and a very efficient, prominent leader, how does your normal day look like? What are the first things you do in a day?
If I tell you the truth, will you all not tell anybody? I'm trying to change it, but the first thing I see my phone. Don't tell anybody. I see my phone. It's by my bed. I see my phone. I'm trying to change it. But no, my normal day is like anybody, Purnima. It can be busy when I'm traveling. Like so many of our teachers are online who travel a lot. So when I'm traveling, so when I'm in the university, it is actually a 14 to 16 hour day sometimes because we have so many meetings packed up in a short time. When I travel out of the country for courses or for conferences, events, also it can be a very packed day, 14, 15 hours a day. Now I'm at home in Mumbai. This is my home. I have a temple here, if you can see.
Wow.
So I'm at home. When I'm at home, it's fun for me because I, don't have so many in-person meetings to do. Then I can be a little flexible. But yeah, I am known as a workaholic, so that is me now. That's what it is. I like to do what I do, so I don't find people ask questions on work-life balance and all. I don't know, it doesn't work. For me, it doesn't come in my mind because my work is my life is my work, so I like it. So yeah, that is it. And then I find time also. I do some happy, nice things, some nice chanting. I like to chant and of course, daily practice sadhana is there. On good days, I do some physical walking, little bit sprint. Good days. So yeah, it's a good, it's a normal day like anybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Purnima.
Very wonderful teachers from Netherlands, and I have seen her from when she was much younger, and now she's a beautiful mom and bringing up her son with all the beautiful values and spreading the goodness in
so much. Thank you so much.
Is Manisha? No, that's Richa. Okay, there's a Manisha who looks like this.
We have Dr. Ajay Kumar Singh also with us.
Oh, Dr. Singh is on the line. Dr. Singh, so nice to have you.
Jai Gurudev, madam. It was wonderful listening to the conversation up till now, and it's a great start that Sri University has taken up on this thought of making everything online, whatever we want to discuss, because face-to-face is becoming an issue.
Yes.
So that's a wonderful initiative that you have taken, and the university people have also fallen in line since morning. They have done their, as per the schedule that we made.
Yeah.
So it's amazing new journey of developing, online content, talking to people, MOOCs, and so on. I see a lot of opportunity in this.
So for everybody, I want to introduce Dr. Ajay Singh is our Vice Chancellor of Srish University. Dr. Singh, where is your screen? There are so many people. Can you put your video on? And he's leading our university in a very fabulous way, taking everybody along in a very kind and fun way. So Dr. Singh, thank you for being on in this conversation.
Thank you, madam, for the nice words. And everybody is excited. We are getting more and more requests for the slots now for the Facebook Live programs from different people. Yes. So more exciting days, more exciting, conversations will happen online now.
That's wonderful. There are many experts on this call. I can see my friends Vandana Bangera, Vaishali Ganorkar, Venkat Mani. So many. Veronique is on the line. Veronique, nice to see you. And some I can only see numbers and not names, so I'm sorry I cannot recognize you from the number. But all of these people are really experts in their field, and we should reach out and leverage this great opportunity to include everybody. And Niyati is there. Abhay Karnataki is there. All of these are dudes actually. So who is this? I can see phone number, not the name. So yeah. So can we put the screens on? Then we can see each other before we say goodbye. And I would like to hear from you, how it was to be in this conversation, just a word or two. And anything you would like to share?
Would you like to share anything?
Hi, Rupal. Thank you, Rajita. It was very interesting. Definitely, these are times where these insights and all this valuable experience and knowledge is so good. And I'm so grateful that you've set this up and that I got to be a part of it. And we have a few people who've done our corporate program who've also joined the call. And I'm sure it's been invaluable for everybody. Thank you so much to all of you. And especially Rajita, thanks so much for breaking down these concepts and in ways that we can understand and apply.
Thanks, Niyati. It was so lovely that all of you were listening to me because you were all muted and I could keep talking. But you all have so much to share. So would be great. We should get one time to, really hear more from each other, more like a, sort of a round table. Maybe we can do the next conversation like a round table. No? What do you think, Niyati?
Yeah, I think it's a very good idea. Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a start to something very good, Rajita.
Yes. Others, just a word or two, anything you would like to say?
Yes, Rajita, Venkat, I think it's a fantastic initiative on leadership. And with lots of time on hands at this particular juncture, I think more of these conversations can be very advantageous.
No worries,
with a lot of people spending time at home, I think this initiative will be really, really beneficial to a lot of us.
Lovely to hear from you, Venkat, and let's plan some more.
Yeah, definitely we should, because since we have time on hands, and this will really work wonderful for all of us.
Lovely.
Thanks a lot, Rajita. You have been, as always, wonderful and very knowledgeable. Your insights are so deep and profound. So it's always a privilege to be in such sessions with you.
Venkat,
thanks a lot, Rajita.
We began our journey together on the...
Yes, how can I forget?
We are together. Yes.
Yeah.
Rajita ji?
Yes.
Vandana here.
Hello, Vandana ji.
Really nice hearing you, but I missed, I think, nearly 3/4. I was out. So I came running and caught up. Maybe the last part I got, but I was really happy hearing. Thank you very much. Just a little thought, I don't know if you covered it. Since these 2 weeks are going to be very crucial for all of us, as a teacher, how we could contribute.
Vandana ji, you asked, you have raised a very important point, and I think for all of us as citizens of the world today, this has become such an important thing. So, we have to create awareness. Unfortunately, for those of our friends who have joined from other parts of the country, in India, other parts of the world, in India, in the last few days, we've had some instances of people in isolation kind of leaving those isolation wards, and unfortunately there can be some taboos associated with such things. So I think we can even do some open Zoom calls or Facebook live sessions on what are the must do's, or what we can do as citizens together. We can really reach out to our communities, isn't it, Vandana ji? What do you think?
Yeah, very, very true, very true. Yeah,
because it is a unprecedented time, so everyone is equally
we all have to be one together, at least for the next 2 weeks.
Correct.
It's going to be very crucial for all of us on this planet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really nice hearing you, Rajita ji. Always, it's a pleasure for me to hear you.
Oh, Vandana ji, thank you.
Look forward to hear you.
Lovely to have you. Yes.
So we'll have some more calls with you
Niyati,
again.
Niyati, yes, we can do more for sure. We can do some more. We are planning.